Hi, I'm Neil. This is Neil's Meals. I'm expecting someone to write in a minute, so I thought I'd start a little early. Um, I'm making what I put in quotes spaghetti sauce because this is not authentic by any stretch of the imagination. This is very Americanized. This is very much what I would like in my sauce. Um, a lot of Italian things, especially from Italy, are put forward in this very prescriptive way. And food changes as you move throughout the world, and what starts as one thing becomes another. Stuff that I've always thought that would should be a certain way. I find it in different ways, and maybe I don't like it. But I don't necessarily say that those substitutions or changes can't be made. In fact, a lot of what you see in Italian American cooking is basically where people had to make substitutions from, where they came from to where they ended up, either because of cost or availability. Oh, thank you, Merrick. Okay. So I was just peeling a carrot, because this just starts out with a carrot. Let's put this right. Let's see. So you need a carrot. So I've got one little carrot. And another. Well, not another, at one end. And so you just want to cut this pretty small. So I'm going to cut it to sort of planks. And then I'm going to cut those into little strips. Hey, there it is. It's a J Fries raid. Thank you so much, J Fries, for raiding. And as I've said to these folks, I'm making what I put in quotes as spaghetti sauce. Um, I hate to be like that, but Italian food, especially for people from Italy, can be a very prescriptive thing, and this is very much my own thing. It's what I think tastes good. Um, you know, One reason like Italian American food is so different than anything in Italy now is, well, one is time has passed and things might have gotten stuck that way here. And the other is that, there just wasn't the availability of products and they had to make do with what they could find. So, you can find a lot of videos on the internet of actual Italian people. You know, I hope one of them finds this video when I post it eventually and just tears it to shreds because it's all in good fun to me. So I'm just dicing this carrot pretty fine. Not as fine as I would like, but working on it. Working on giving y'all the sauce. Side a little bit. Oh, cool. We've got a hype train already. I can't believe it. just decided I should start the meat while I'm chopping these vegetables. So I'm going to make a big pot of sauce. I'm looking at making enough pretty much for 3 or 4 times. So I'm using 2 pounds of meat today. I'm using some ground beef and some mild Italian sausage. And so this is just, this classic, crumble and grind it up in a pan. Well, I changed my mind. I didn't necessarily want to be in J Fry's stream on camera. Sometimes I was doing something else. I'm not always paying strict attention to it. Because sometimes the game interests me and sometimes it doesn't. But a lot of times, because of the delay that it happens, because I'm not tied into his computer, it's disconcerting for me to hear him talk beside me and then have it repeat in my headphones like a few seconds later. Let me do this. It's done this again. It's doing this. All right, there we go. Actually, we'll do this. So into this pan, I'm going to put, I've already turned it on some heat. I'll put in a little bit of olive oil. And we'll put in this Italian sausage. Now, I don't always do this with Italian sausage. This just happens to be what I had on hand. Sometimes I just do this with ground beef. Sometimes I do this with pork and ground beef. Today I'm doing it with Italian sausage and beef. So we've got this big piece of bulk sausage. Get it to drop off the... There we go. Smooth, right? All right. So I'll cut it up with this knife a little. All right. So that needs a little more heat. It's not doing anything. Let me wash my hands. Got to wash your hands when you're cooking. All right, so we have this. We're going to break it up. I got some complaints from before about me using that metal spatula in the pan, so I'll use this thing. Is this thing on? Yeah. So you just want to break up the meat, It doesn't have to be super tiny. It's not like you're making a taco with this. And this will cook out some more while it's cooking. And we can, let it get going a little bit. Scrape it off. starting to sizzle. All right, so I just want to scrape that off there. So now it's sizzling a little bit. Still chop it up a little bit. And I'm cooking these separate because I'd like to get a little color on them. A little color in the pan and a little color on the meat. So I think we'll just leave those alone right there. While those are doing that, this one nice thing about this setup is I can watch my pan while I'm talking to y'all. All right, so then we're going to chop some celery, add these little pieces. I should say you should save all these little parts you cut off to make stock, but I never do it, so. I do it at a holiday, maybe. I'll take the neck out of the turkey and make broth for the gravy. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing with the celery. I may have a little bit too much here because you don't want a whole lot. You just want enough to give it some flavor. All right. Hope y'all are all having a good evening. Thank you for coming. I really do appreciate it. I hope this, what I'm doing here makes sense to y'all. If you have any questions, of course, let me know. And thank you for coming. Oh, that's good. I don't like spicy. And I'm not trying really to make something spicy here. I'm trying to, make something that's going to be more in the background, right? So you don't want super strong flavored meat. You want the meat flavor, but you don't want it to be overpowering of the tomato. right. Got our celery. We've got our carrot. Now I have a bell pepper. It's seen a little better days, but it's going to be fine. That's about all I need. I don't want that. And you should either pull these out or cut them out, the little ribs inside. Not because they're spicy or anything, it's just that they have a kind of an off texture. So you just cut them into strips, and then you cut across. That gives you diced bell pepper. And some people will put sugar in sauce. I try not to do it. I try to get the sweetness from what I put in it. So that's why I include this carrot and this bell pepper. Piece, it's too thick. Swap it and go back and look at this meat. You know, Oceanic, you probably like something sweeter than I do. Or, I mean, hotter than I do. I know that throughout the South Pacific, there's a lot of chilies. It's funny. It's funny how pervasive chilies are throughout the world, since they are originally from the Americas, and they don't have. Oh God! Thank you, Fire Dancer. That was so sweet of you. And you didn't have chilies anywhere in the world until the Columbian Exchange, which was when Columbus came to the Americas, and named them, and also brought all that stuff back to other areas of the world. All right, so we've got this bell pepper sliced up, and then we're going to just go through it like this. I'll try to do the claw. Someone chided me for not doing the claw. Just going to do it like this. There we go. So now we have a bell pepper that's cut up. That's good. All right, let's see how this is looking. So what I think I'm going to do here, normally I would probably just put the other meat in on top of it, but I'm trying to get a little bit of a sear here. So what I think I'll do is grab my little green colander and put a plate under it, and I will take this little spoon and just take it out. We'll leave that to drain. Set that over here. Oh, did it do it again? I think the battery died on it. So I'm sorry about that. We're just going to have to go back to this. All right. So what I've done is I've taken some, I've drained this, I'm draining the sausage on this plate. And to this pan that unfortunately you can't see anymore, I'm going to add this meat. Well, I think it is charging, maybe. I don't know what it's doing. Yeah. I think what happens is the battery has died, and so it like comes on and when it has a charge, and then it doesn't hold one for very long. I can't tell what it's doing. Is it? I can't tell. You have to hit the button.
Hello, everybody.
The one that says either inset or swap.
The thing where you have to
Hit the side button once, twice, one more time, and then hit the top button. And then hit the side button again. One more. And then hit the top button. And that's it.
Hello, everyone.
And so this is just 8515 ground beef. Sometimes I use chuck for this, but since I'm using that sausage, I thought this would be okay. It's stuck to the side there. Turn that up a little bit. All right. Sorry about the that sort of hiccup. But, I've heard more than once, it's not a stream if you don't have some kind of technical difficulty. Wash my hands again. This apron is nice because I can put this towel in it. All right, so while that's draining, I'm going to put this back over here so it's out of my way. Let's attack this gigantic onion. I like to do this on a paper towel because I don't like the onion paper on my cutting board. All right. Yeah, this was supposed to be a medium yellow onion. Hey, Lord Vallejo. How are you doing this evening? Hope that everything's all right where you are. Okay. So I'm gonna cut it in half, roughly. Peel it, of course. Go. Peel this part. There we go. And I'll deal with this in a minute. So, Velos. Sorry, I should have said Velos. I need to get like a display so that I can put the chat like over there and have it big enough so that I can see it. And then we just cut it like this. Piece gets bothersome, you just take it off. I just turn it, get it cut through there. Let's take a look at that meat. It's just cooking. All right. Let that keep cooking. And we want this one back. All right. So everybody new in, I'm cooking a tomato sauce, a tomato meat sauce, like you might get in a restaurant. Well, probably not like this. This is not authentic. That's why I put spaghetti sauce in quotes. This is my spaghetti sauce. It is not authentic in any way to someone Italian. If it was truly Italian, they probably wouldn't put meat in this sauce unless they were making a ragu. So it would have a lot less tomato and more meat. And they would, if it was a tomato sauce, they would really want the tomato to be the most forward flavor. I like just something, I grew up in white America, so this is just sort of what we had. Hey, Shell Shock Prime. Thanks for coming in. All right, so we've broken down all those vegetables there, and they will go into this pan when the meat is done. That's starting to look like what I kind of want there. You want it to get some good color. Of course, be done through and sort of just chopped up. There we go. It's funny. I don't know if I would take this on the road. Kind of depends on what I would have access to. Oop. Lots of onion there. Probably too much, but I don't ever feel like you can have too much. All right, let's go back to the pan. So we've cooked all the water out of this. And now it's frying in what's left over from the sausage fat and the fat in the ground beef. I think this looks as good as it's going to look. I mean, I guess I could press it down here and let it cook for a minute. But you don't want to burn the fond on the pan. Yeah, turn that down a little bit. That's starting to look good. Let me get a bowl. And I'll dump this into this bowl. Then I'll drain this beef off. So we get the meat out of the pan, and I feel like there's enough grease in here. I can always add some extra. I mean, I've got some there I can use, or I could just put in a little olive oil. Let's put in a little olive oil. And then push all those vegetables into it. As I get them all over the stove. Oh, yes. It's not cooking if you don't make a mess. So you want to get them, all coated and everything. And you need to put some salt in these so they'll release their water. In fact, maybe we'll just give it a... Well, no, we'll let it put the lid on it a little bit. All right. All right, it's starting to come together. So if you weren't here before, I said I'm making a big pot of this sauce. I like it a little chunky. The tomato part is not going to be all that chunky, but the vegetables that I've just put in the pan will be. But I'm going to soften them right here. And hello, how are you doing? It's Panthelina, I think. Hi, Panthelia. I'm Neil. This is Neil's Meals, my humble little corner where I cook things that I cook. On Saturday nights, I cook our dinner, and I do it on stream. So let's see how these look. All right, that's working. I mean, I definitely will have to deglaze this pan. In fact, I think I'm going to do just that. I'm just going to pour in a little bit of this wine. Just a little bit. I mean, you don't super want to boil the vegetables, but I need just enough to sort of deglaze here. So I don't want it to burn. We'll put more of that in later. And I think I will take spoon of grace and put in there. Oh, it did it again. No, it's not you. It's not you, honey. It's just the GoPro is terrible. All right. French. That's great. Hopefully hopefully what I make here won't be disgusting to you, because I know French cooking is very different than this. My favorite thing to cook and my favorite thing to eat. Um, well, it's so hard for me to say what's my favorite thing to eat. Like, I love cookies, uh, but I don't know that I would ever classify them as my favorite thing to eat. My favorite thing to cook is probably something like this. It's just something I've been doing a long time. It comes second nature. As a matter of fact, usually when I come and do this stream, I have some kind of recipe uh, written down. And in this case, I don't really have something written down because I already have it in mind what I'm going to do. While that's going on, we can get some garlic. Because, I mean, I've seen like tomato sauce recipes where they basically just put, you know, crushed tomatoes into a pan and like half an onion. I'm not a sushi guy. I don't super love it. It's not the fish that bothers me mostly. I don't care for the rice. It's mostly a textural thing. And well, and also the oh well, thank you for coming, Wonder Girl. Kanara's been great. She's been such a supporter of my stream, and she's so sweet. And she has patience I don't have because she was putting together a huge Lego cat last time I saw her. And I know there are easier ways to peel this than I do. It's just what I do. Sort of twist them a little bit and pick it off. Sometimes if it annoys me, get the tip of a knife. A pizza crepe. It's been so long since I've had a crepe. When I was a kid, there was a place at the mall, and it was called the Magic Pan. And I think it's funny that I can remember this because it hasn't been there in probably, I don't know, 40 years? Spaghetti sauce is in quotations because this is in no way authentic to what an actual an actual Italian would do, and this is no way really. I mean, it's vaguely related to maybe what an Italian American would do. Basically, I don't ever want to end up being ridiculed on something like Vincenzo's plate for doing this. Master of Spills 180. Let me give this a stir. It's starting to soften up nicely. And I just want to take this time, to thank you all for coming here. I know there are lots of things to do in life, so I appreciate that you come see me. And I'm always trying to make cooking approachable, so please let me know if some of the stuff I make is a little complicated. Like I'll put a number of ingredients into it. I'm never going to be one of those people that's like, take a can of mixed vegetables and a can of cream and mushroom soup and and a can of chicken and some stovetop stuffing and mix it up and that's a casserole. I'm never going to be that guy. What do I put in my spaghetti sauce? I usually put some kind of meat in it, so I make like a meat sauce. I put onions and bell pepper and celery and carrots. And today the meat I have a pound of mild Italian sausage and a pound of ground beef that I've cooked off and I've let drain. Oh, well, thank you, Wanda. That is so kind of you. So what I'm going to put in here, these have pretty much cooked down, I feel like. As much as I need to, because this sauce is going to simmer for a bit. So I'm going to add about, I don't know, I'd say about a cup, 3/4 of a cup, maybe a cup of red wine, dry red wine. For me, I don't use an expensive wine to cook. I think I bought this wine at Aldi for $5. I put it this way. When I say this. You should buy a wine that you can drink. Not necessarily the one you want to drink. I haven't found that using a high-end expensive wine translates in cooking. But if you use a very poor quality wine, it certainly does. So I've put in that wine, and you can see that it's deglazing the pan. That's all I'm really trying to do here. Rub up the browned bits from the bottom that make things delicious. In fact, I think I'm going to put a little more in. In this case, this is just a Merlot. Cab works. Cabernet Sauvignon works. But it's it can be a bit too strong for a dish sometimes. So I try to use sort of what I consider a mid-weight red wine. All right, so we've got that. And that's deglazed, and we're going to put our sausage back in. And let me get a paper towel for the edge there. Over here. And we'll stir that together. And then we'll add the ground beef. And this probably looks like a lot of meat. And it is a fair amount. But like I said, I am making this for multiple nights. So in the final dish, it won't be so much. All right, I'm gonna put this over here for right now. All right. That is pork meat. It's Italian sausage is what it is. It's mild Italian sausage. It's not very strongly. Doesn't have a lot of like chili pepper in it. Because I feel like it would overpower the sauce, and I don't super want something super spicy here. At this point, I'm gonna salt and pepper this meat. And it can take a fair amount of pepper. Because I stupidly did not season it when I was doing it. So this will have to do. I guess at least I'm not waiting till the end. That would be the worst. Yeah, I did carrots and I did red bell pepper. And that's, I do that for the sweetness. Let me go back to this one. Yeah. I do that for the sweetness. So we've got this mixed together. Usually I have a little picture in this one, but I guess I didn't add it. All right. So this is looking about how we want it to look at this point. So that's good. So let me take a moment to write this down so I can write a recipe. All right. That gave me a moment. This is doing fine. You know what I forgot to do to this? I'll just kind of make a little area down here. We'll make a little area down here, and we'll put a little bit of oil. And it'll go off to the edge because the pan isn't flat. And then we're going to do the garlic. Do the garlic in that little spot. Here, I'll turn it so you can see it. And we put that in there. And we crush it out into the oil. And it doesn't put enough in there because it's a puny little garlic clove. So you want to just sort of give that a little time in the heat. You don't want it to have very much. You do not want garlic to burn. You don't want garlic to burn. Do not burn your garlic. Because if it does, your whole dish will be bitter. So do not burn your garlic. If you never do anything else, if you burn your garlic, you need to basically take everything out of the pan and throw it in the trash. All right, so let me get my little thing back. This is the reverse. I think I just moved the chat, move that back in the corner. And oh, there we go. All right. So we need to add some stuff to this. So I have a 24 ounce or 680 gram jar of passata. Passata is an Italian product. Well, it doesn't have to be, but this one is. The lid is on very tight. Oh, it did it again. All right. Fix that in a minute. I need to put this in there. So this is a jar of passata. This is basically just strained tomatoes. If I can get it open. I was going to do it in a minute. Hello. Can you open this?
The jar opener is here.
I've tried and tried and tried. It was on very tightly.
There you go.
So passata is really loose, and we're going to go back to this one so I can fix it. So all I do is turn it on. It's like it powers off.
Activity timeout or something.
There probably is. Thought I got it.
It was on for a second.
It's not a stream if you don't have problems. It's like it's not charged. It's like it's run out of charge or something.
Hello, everybody.
So I'm going to put this passata in.
Can you use the canned tomatoes like crushes or diced tomatoes?
I'm going to put some crushed tomatoes in it too. Oh, it's doing this. So let's.
It's close. Giant hand. There you go.
All right. So I've put in the passata.
Hello, Dimok.
Let's swap back.
Put it back in there.
Yeah. I just need to put some. Now, I always like to put a little water in my passata jar. Sort of shake it up. And then pour that in. Because I paid for that flavor, so I'm getting it. All right. So we have that. You know, there's something I should have done. I'm doing this a little out of order, I think. So that gives you a nice saucy start. And they're usually very flavorful. The passata is because they're made in Italy. Now I'm going to do a can of tomato paste because you want it a little thicker than that. And I'll use my little, I can get it to work on, sometimes I can't get it to work on something like this. Hello. Yes, on Saturday nights I cook our dinner and I do it on stream. I don't think this thing works on this kind of jar. Fortunately, I have the old-fashioned kind. All right. See if I can find my little. So I'm gonna put in some tomato paste. One can of tomato paste. And you know, I mean, you could use a can of crushed tomatoes, and you could use a can of tomato sauce. Kind of what I'm doing here is I'm just using stuff that I have in the house, which is, you know, how you make this sauce. Sometimes I would do this with a jar of sauce. So that gives it some sort of backbone of the concentrated tomato flavor. Thickens it up a bit. Don't worry, it's not going to stay thick. All right, now I'm going to put in one. So when you shop for tomatoes, depending on how you're going to use them. Sorry, I need to get a pair of scissors. You want to look on the label. If you're going to cook with them, you want to look on the label and find ones that just say tomatoes. Nothing else is there. Those are going to have the best flavor. These are from Italy. And they're not super expensive if I get them on sale. I would prefer to have the ones that are just chopped. These are finely chopped, so they're not super chunky. They sort of just look like crushed tomatoes. Stir that all in. And the reason I'm making this much, because it's just the two of us, I'm not feeding an army here, is I'm going to freeze some of it, so I have it later. All right. We need this can. This is a can of crushed tomatoes. Or ground peeled, yeah, crushed tomatoes. It's been lurking in the back of my pantry, so I decided to pull it out and put it into this. All right. Oh. In this case, I'm going to rinse the can a little bit. Stir that out. All right. So, I've used pretty convenient products here. These are all crushed tomatoes. I didn't have. If you used whole tomatoes, this would be better. Oh, okay. I guess in a way this is meal prep because I'm going to eat this more than once. All right. Now, when it gets to this point, and you've stirred it up, and it already has a nice thick body already, right? You can see the meat. You can see the tomatoes. But it will need to cook for a little while before it really has its good flavor. So to give it some of that good flavor, we're going to put a few things in it. And we're going to start with a bay leaf. One bay leaf. Just stick it in there. Then I have some rosemary that I'm going to break up in my fingers. And this is just dried rosemary. This rosemary came, from a branch of rosemary I had. And this is not like what you buy in the grocery store, but that's fine too. But it's a little stronger. So you don't want to put too much of that in, maybe about half a teaspoon. And then I'm going to put about one teaspoon of oregano in it. Just to sort of give it a background flavor. Towards the end, I'll put some basil in it. So let's let that heat through. And I'll start to clean up a little bit. Let's go back to that one. It's just I'm over here. All right, so that's simmering. I'll take a chance to just take some of this out of my work area. So y'all have to excuse me. I'm walking in and off camera. All right. This can just go in trash. It's back in the tray. Oh, there we go. All right. Bags and put the pieces of onion in it. I hope all of y'all are having a good night. Or good, well, it might be afternoon for you, depending on where you are. Okay. Excuse me. All right, that's better. So let's talk about tomato products a little bit. When you go in the store, typically you have tomato paste, tomato sauce, diced tomatoes, petite diced tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, and whole tomatoes. I think you also get stewed tomatoes. And each of those has sort of a different application. In this sauce, I don't necessarily want tomatoes that are too big. A lot of the brands of diced tomatoes you get have, let me walk over here to my pantry and get a can out and show you. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me swap it. I don't know if you can see that or not. These are in tomato juice. They've added citric acid, which is going to make it more tart. And they've added calcium chloride. Calcium chloride is a chemical they add to vegetables, especially a lot of canned vegetables, that is a firming agent. So it's not always unwanted. But if you've ever gotten diced tomatoes and you're putting them in something that cooks slowly and they're not breaking down the way you think they should, that's probably what's happened. I didn't know this for a long time, and I would cook and cook and cook sauce, and it wouldn't break down, it wouldn't get yummy. But sometimes if you're going to throw stuff in a crock pot, those tomatoes are great because they're going to cook for hours and hours and hours, and that calcium chloride isn't going to do anything, and it's not harmful or anything. It's not, there are people who think there's all this poison in food, and it's not a poisonous chemical. It's just calcium. It's one of a few different calcium salts that we can absorb as human beings. But it does give that firming action. You see it also in other canned vegetables. And the acidifier, in this case citric acid, they're doing that to meet the pH level proper for canning tomatoes. that box of tomatoes that I had, those just have tomatoes with no acidifier or calcium chloride, and but they're aseptically packed. Let's see, so I put in 1 jar of passata, or you could just say, here, I'll put it on this one. You could just say that it's strained tomatoes. Usually, the brands I've found of it are Flora and Cento, but it usually comes in a jar that's shaped like that. Like I've always seen it in that shaped jar. One box of Pomi, fine. Chop. Yeah, Pomis are good. That was the jar was Flora. 1 can crushed tomato and tomato paste. Yeah, sometimes if you have an aisle that's like an international aisle and they have Italian food, they'll put it there. I'm often quite amazed that my store even carries something exotic because this is Florida. Florida's, oh, that's looking great. We'll just stir it up a little bit. And you see this has come together and it's got a nice bright color. Oh, did the camera die on me again? It's not on because I don't have that one on, but it's not on. Sorry. All right, let's see if I can do this. Is it? Let's do that. All right. 1, 2, 2, 3. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get into this thing. All right, let me go to the settings. Let me turn that to never. All right, hopefully that won't happen again. I went and looked at the settings on my GoPro. All right, so let's take a look at it again. Swap, and then you see that it's simmering away here. It's got a nice body, nice bright color. Some people like to cook this really long time. If you're going to do that, you need to do it on slow heat because there's a chance you can burn it, especially the thicker it is. All right, so we're going to add a little bit of juice. All right. San Marzano. You know, I do love San Marzanos. I only didn't use whole tomatoes tonight because I didn't want to deal with crushing them up with my hands. And I don't want to put them in the blender and make them crush up. I do shop at Costco, but Costco is not the same everywhere. A can of tomato paste. Oh, okay, those are my 4 things. And then I put in, say, 1 cup red wine. Half spoon rosemary and 1 teaspoon of oregano. Salt and pepper to taste. Sorry, I just have to write all that down. Oh, thank you for rating, Coyote. So nice of you. I hope whatever you were doing went well. I saw you streaming earlier. I don't remember what you were making. Something like cakes with rice, I think? Which I was going to say, if you were making rice cakes, that's not exactly something delicious. And give it the spurs a little bit. See if we can get some moisture off of it. Shout out was given to Coyote. I don't see that the shout out was there. Western style cakes, but using sweet rice flour. Okay, that actually sounds great. I haven't ever cooked a lot with rice flour. I've cooked with some gluten-free flours because I have some gluten-free people in my life. But really, I've only made cookies. Sorry, I needed to stir that. Yeah, I would, that's kind of what I would expect rice to do, unless it was maybe whole rice flour. I don't know if they do whole rice flour. I know they do rice bran flour and rice bran syrup. Yeah, I mean, some of those gluten-free mixes have all kinds of different stuff in them. Like the one-to-one replacement bags that you can get, they're all very different. You know, there's one thing I forgot to put in this. I just remembered. I have a Parmesan rind I should put in this. It's just a little one. But they are so good in the sauce. So I save my Parmesan rinds. You know, I go to Costco and I get a big thing of Parmesan, and then I vacuum seal it into various size bags so I don't have a huge piece of it exposed to the elements. And then I just grind off what I have open. But when I get to the end, I do save the Parmesan rind, because the Parmesan rind will give wonderful flavor to soups and sauces. I wouldn't necessarily do it in a fine sauce, but in something like this, it is very welcome. Well, I can't say that's original to me. It's just one of those things I've seen over the years. And this is something I just would so intuitively throw together. I'm having to write down what the recipe is so I can provide it to you later. And one thing I would also say is I probably will post this in two ways because you don't necessarily need to make a pot this big. I'm making a pot this big so I can split it and save some of it, probably multiple portions of it, um, freeze it, and be able to just pull it out of my freezer on a night that I don't really feel like cooking. But I could boil some pasta. That's why I have this big pot. Let's go back to looking at it. And it's simmering away. And that's good. It's starting to thicken up. Still needs a little ways. Let's taste it and see how it is. All right. It's good so far. Very tomato, very bright. I mean, I guess you'd expect that with a bunch of tomato products in it. Maybe could use some salt, though. I thought that sausage might put some in it. No, I've never tried hot pepper paste. In case you didn't know, I don't like hot pepper anything. I use some cayenne in my cooking, but I'm usually using pretty small amounts, and it's just sort of a background player. I don't make anything like if he laughs at me because I'll make something and say, "Oh, this is spicy," and he's just like, "No, it's not." Well, some people would add sugar to this, trying to counteract the acidity. And I'm not gonna. I don't think that needs it. It's sweet enough with the carrot and the bell pepper and the quality of the tomatoes I have. But I have seen in old recipes where you add a little bit of baking soda to it, but that really will just kill that whole acid flavor. So it'll be tomatoey, but it won't be what you expect. But if you had an acid problem, you could try just a little, like a pinch in there. And I guarantee you that whatever comes out of this pot's going to be better than come out of any jar. You put smoked bacon in your meatballs. Well, to us, the only bacon is all bacon is smoked, but you could use like pancetta or something. Um, I almost started this with instead of olive oil. I have some bacon grease saved we had bacon this morning, and I almost used some of that, but I didn't really want the whole sauce to taste like bacon. Bacon is wonderful, but the problem with bacon is that it makes everything you have taste like bacon. Or not pork bacon. Oh yes, I guess you don't. Um, well, I mean, then if you make something like this, if you decide to make some big pot like this, I used Italian sausage. I guess don't do that. Really, just for this size pot, I would say a pound, 2 pounds of meat. I haven't ever had beef bacon. It just has always seemed odd to me. It's like where I grew up, all barbecue was pork. So barbecued beef is weird to me. Sorry, I'm just leaning on this counter because I have to let that cook. Oh, you make your own sausage with ground lamb and beef instead. Do I have any beans recipe? I do have a black beans and rice recipe. I did it on my husband's stream before I started streaming. But I'm probably going to bring it back and do it again. I'll be doing it. Brisket. So, I mean, brisket to me, brisket is barbecue for some people. It's not really to me. It's just sort of like meat that's been roasted with salt and pepper. It doesn't have, it's just meat. Maybe I haven't had a good one, although he's taken, I guess I didn't have it. Maybe I'll have it next time we go to Rudy's. Yeah, my black beans and rice is, a lot of the things that I make have been sort of, it started out as something very small and simple, and it grew into this elaborate thing. Yeah, I think I had pork when I went to Rudy's. I know I don't love their sauces. Let's take a look at this. I think it's simmering pretty good. So we've got the bubbling. Everything looks tender. There's that Parmesan rind I put in it. You just kind of want to simmer it enough to get the flavors to marry. Let's taste it again. That's pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is I have some fresh basil. Well, I think I got scarred for life, right? One time I went to Texas. I was on a road trip. And I got dragged into this place. Okay. Yeah, I didn't super love being called wimpy because I didn't want the spicy sauce. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some basil down in the sauce. But I'm leaving it whole so I can pull it out, because when you cook basil, it's not really great. Well, he's from Texas. I'm from Virginia. And Virginia is not well known across the country for its barbecue. And I think, in fact, the place that I always went is gone now. But like the North Carolina barbecue is well known. And that is, I think I want maybe a little more. I mean, I like spicy in that I like things with herbs and spices. I don't like spicy like chili spicy. Let's wash this. You should always wash your basil. Smells so good. I love basil. I'm just trying to dry it off. Let's get it sort of pulled out here. Sometimes I get the prints because they are these aren't actually so that's the container from the Aldi's. I haven't actually been back to Aldi's. Those are the Utz ones that are a lot more expensive, but they put them on sale, so we got them. But the container that the Aldi uses is better than the container that Utz uses. So we're going to pick off some leaves here. I don't like the way that one looks. Okay. I am too. There are a few things that I pay money, probably more money than I should for. One is jam. I love blackberry jam, and there was a brand that sold for years. I really originally found it in, of all places, Cracker Barrel. And it was Dickinson's jam, and originally it sold with the seeds in it, and then they stopped making that, probably because it wasn't as popular. And I got the seedless for years, and then about 3 years ago they quit making it. So now the only people who make something close is a French company called, I'm gonna screw this up, it's like Bon Manane or something. I'm not sure what it is. It comes in a sort of hexagonal jar with a white label that looks handwritten. I'm going to take these stems with this basil left on it, and I'm going to stick those into my sauce too. And lets that sort of infuse. Collecting grease in the oven. I don't usually have anything that runs over in the oven. Usually I contain it to a sheet pan. And I don't have stuff run over on that. The bacon grease that I have that I put in this old mason jar is, we have a pan that has a rack in it, and he puts the bacon on the rack, and then the grease falls below it. But sometimes, depending on your size of your oven, have I made pizza? No. I mean, I have made pizza, but I don't make it a lot. It's difficult in a sort of a standard oven. Oh, well, Coyote, thank you for raiding in and thank you for coming by. I understand that you have life after streaming, so it's no problem. Raid and run and have a great night. And I hope your cakes go over well. So I'm going to want some fresh basil for the end. And I probably should get a pot of water going. Well, let me wipe this off first. This is wet. Okay. Well, that takes talent, right? Okay, let's get the pot out. And fill it with water. Yeah, I may not actually do spaghetti tonight. I may do penne, but it's, just that sort of sauce. I might do spaghetti though. In case you're just in or I haven't mentioned what's in this, and the reason I called it spaghetti sauce in quotes is because this is in no means authentic to any tradition anywhere. This is just how I make it. I wouldn't use large ice cube trays for this. I just use, storage containers because I save like enough for the two of us. All right. That water on. Yeah, I mean, if it was something like stock, I might do that. Or if it was like a fine sauce that doesn't have meat in it, I might do that. But like, I can't see, like even 2 of those big ice cubes would not be enough sauce for dinner. I also need some pasta. Let's get some pasta. I think I'm gonna do this penne, since I've had it for a while. And I like penne. So tonight I'm doing penne rigate, which is the penne that has the little lines on it. Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. I think I have seen those. What I typically use is something like this with a airtight lid. And this is borosilicate glass, so it can go from freezer to oven to table. Not that I cook this in the oven, but although you could cook this in the oven because you could put it in a low, slow, gentle oven, and it would probably be good. Let's grab a pair of tongs because these have probably given up all they're going to give up. Oh, you'll see it. So I put these stems in. Oh, I got the Parmesan. Sucks. Sorry, Parmesan. Need somewhere to put these. I just put those in to let the sort of the basil flavor come out. But you don't necessarily want to leave these in there. That is looking very good. Let's say this is almost ready. Let's give it a taste. Grab a little spoon. Give it a taste. See if it needs anything. Oh, that's beautiful. That basil really just... That's the bay leaf. The basil really just infused into that sauce. That's fabulous. That'll be ready in a few minutes. Mmm. Oh, yeah, yeah. I don't make it that far ahead usually, but I'll probably get 3 or 4 weeks out of this pot. Stir it up some. Scrape the tomato concentration off the sides. That's good flavor in your dish. I would say that looks pretty good. It's not ragu, but as if the standard to be at is ragu. All right, so I have all this basil, probably more than I need. And when I plate, I will tear off, or maybe I'll chop pieces. Chef Boyardee is an interesting case. Chef Boyardee was actually Italian. He changed his name to that phonetic spelling so people could pronounce it. His actual spelling was different. I want to say it had some I's in it instead of the Y and the 2 E's. And he made a sauce that was really just acclaimed across the country. I don't know if it got out of the country. But the original sauce is not what you ever get in a can anymore. And that, has been sold through several operations. So it's not really what it once was. Oh, yeah. That is good. But I don't want y'all to think that you have to make this giant pot of sauce. Because you can easily just half this, just use a pound of meat instead of 2. You don't have to use 2 different meats. I just like it when I make this big pan. Um, yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to do that, you want to do it pretty slow. I mean, they're famously Italian American grandmothers or nonas would put their sauce on in the morning and let it cook all Sunday long, and that's something that gets sold as Sunday gravy. And it would start with whole cuts. That one doesn't look good. And there are some makers who sell you something like that. I mean, it's obviously not the same if it's in a jar. But there, some of the people, like Betty Crocker was never a real person, but then like Duncan Hines was a real person. He actually was one of the first restaurant reviewers in the U.S. And he sold his name for them to put on various products. And the only products left now are the baking products. Oh, that's just unbelievable. Look, I'm just lucky the way this turned out, I think. The water isn't boiling yet. I was gonna do penne. Oh, okay. While I'm waiting, I think what I'll do is I'll put this stuff to the side here. And I'll get myself. I have to go behind this camera. I always do this. Hello. Um, Sorry if that was a jump scare. Get a piece of wax paper out. Till. I'm not sure what you mean. Matthias or Matthias. Now, oh yeah, yes, Duncan Hines was real. His reviews though were hilarious because they were very short. Yeah, maybe I need to do the more you know on this one, as a thing on this stream. I'm just doing enough for 2 plates here. I would put some in the sauce, but I put that rind in, so I think that should be fine. But I would encourage you to put your, I know money is hard for a lot of people right now, and I would encourage you, if you were going to put your money in a few places, put them where they count the most. Something like this that you use pretty sparingly. This is Parmigiano Reggiano, and it's very expensive. But you use it. Yeah, they're doing it to all of us. You know, we're in decent shape, but like I buy plenty of generic products and try to cut where I can. That's sort of the way I was raised, though. All right, so we have this cheese for finishing. Hey, Canara. or Canara. Zero brand. I don't know what zero brand is. I haven't seen that. Let's take a look at our sauce again. So I'm making spaghetti sauce. I put it in quotes because it's in no way very authentic. It smells wonderful. Let me taste it again, see if it needs some salt. Oh, pretty good. How are you, Mr. Mad Mothy? Oh, yeah. I steeped some basil into it. Just put whole basil in and let it cook in it, and then pulled it out. Zero. This is almost no branded food. Oh, okay. There are a few things I buy that are branded. Jay Fry's favorite food is bread. Any low fiber bread. Thanks, Jay Fries. That's sweet of you. Kanara is a friend of the stream. She was one of the people that inspired me to start doing this. And she's been very nice to me, gotten some people into the stream for me. And I wouldn't be an affiliate probably if she hadn't come to help us. Pizza and bread, yes. Maybe I need to learn to make better pizza. You're kind of limited though with a home oven. I think that is simmered down into a great sauce. Just waiting on this water to boil. Bread and butter pudding. I don't know that I've ever had bread and butter pudding. Well, I'm using, this is actually a Victorinox knife. It's not super expensive. It's not my sharpest knife, but it's fine for vegetables. It's easy to sharpen, and it was the recommended at the time that from America's Test Kitchen, which I really like America's Test Kitchen. I don't always want to do their recipes, but they've always been pretty solid on any kind of review. I've got this one. And this one is sharp as hell. It's a Zwilling Kramer. And it doesn't look pretty because it's carbon steel. So it's very, very sharp. Let me get some salt for the water. If you only get kosher salt for cooking, do yourself a favor and buy like one of these cans of cheap table salt. Because in something like water, it's not going to matter. And one of these is usually less than $1. Whereas this is 1 pound and 10 ounces. This is 26 ounces. It's just the cheapest thing probably in the grocery store. How often do I resharpen my knives? This knife is stayed pretty sharp. I hone it on a steel pretty often, but I haven't had to. I haven't had to sharpen it much. Well, I do have these really old ones that were my mother's. That's not it. I may have taken it out. Yeah, she had a set of Professional S. And that's one of the knives out of the Professional S. There was a kind of knife, and I've seen them in Costco, and I've seen them. They used to be door-to-door salesmen, and a friend of the family started doing that for a job, and they were Cutco knives, and they were nice knives, right? They were nice, but their demonstration was cutting a rope. And I remember my mother looking at him and saying, if I buy these knives, that's about the quality of meat I'll be able to afford. Yeah, well, that carbon steel knife is super sharp and it's super hard. This one is a little softer. It's stainless steel, but it's a good sort of all around knife. I do have this little one that I use sometimes, and this one is ceramic. This is a Kyocera ceramic knife, and it's stayed very sharp because I've had this quite a long time. I can cut tomatoes with this. I think I got it from Woot. Yes. My mother did buy one Cutco knife, and she bought a. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the channel. So nice of you to show up. I'm making a sort of spaghetti meat sauce. Let's do that, and you can see it. It's bubbled up some, but in here I've got crushed tomatoes, passata, tomato paste, and finely chopped tomatoes, Pomi finely chopped tomatoes. And then I also have 1 pound of Italian sausage and 1 pound of ground beef that I cooked off at the beginning and drained. We are not ready to eat yet, no. I'm waiting for the water to boil. Yeah, no, I know about the rusty knife thing. Yeah, you can start the bread, J Fries. We're having this with frozen garlic bread because I only have so much energy to make a dinner. And I'm gonna cook. I'm actually not doing spaghetti. I'm gonna do some penne. Oh, you're gonna get your. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you came in. I always try to make this approachable. Let's see. I will tell you what I put in it. There's salt and pepper to taste. Pound of ground beef, ground sausage, 1 bell pepper, 1 onion, 1 carrot, and celery. I wrote onion twice. One jar of passata, 1 box of Pomi finely chopped tomatoes, 1 can of crushed tomatoes, and 1 can of tomato paste. About a cup of red wine has gone in this, and half a teaspoon of rosemary, 1 teaspoon of oregano, bay leaf, and 1 parmesan rind. And I've also sort of perfumed it with basil because I took whole basil on the stem and stuck it in it and let it cook for a while. You can move the camera forward if you need to.
I was just looking for the
Parchment.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Does it look okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Way too big.
We'll just fold it. In fact, there's the bay leaf.
So tonight, I will be making Texas toast with garlic. Very difficult.
Yes. Be sure to read the instructions on the back.
Yes, we'll be heating our toaster oven to 425 degrees. Oh wait, there's toaster oven instructions, which are exactly the same as the conventional oven instructions.
I don't think that even needs salt.
We have a pan here with parchment paper. Yeah, exactly. And you just stack it like that. And go right into the oven.
That wouldn't even fit in our toaster oven that way.
No, I'm arranging them. Hopefully, I don't know if I have enough space on here.
Well, if you don't have enough space, we can always...
Nope, I got it.
Okay.
We're good. We usually do these in the oven, but I figured we'd do it in the toaster oven.
Here, do you want me
There you go.
to? Do you want to put it under the camera over there so they can see?
Yeah. Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I needed some.
Well, one thing is you got to start your toaster oven. I did
Yes.
not start the toaster oven.
Can you put that in the recycling?
I will put this in the recycle.
In the little plastic tab.
Where'd you put that? Oh, there.
You can throw that paper towel away too. Okay.
How's it been going in here?
He doesn't. We don't add anything on top. I know that some people would add cheese on it.
Yeah, I mean, it already has a lot of garlic butter on it, so yeah. I mean, the rest of the meal is so involved, so it's just nice to just throw something in the oven and get it.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Oh, thanks.
We try. We just are who we are. We hope you like it. All right, so that is boiling. How long does this pasta take?
Oh, I didn't even...
Well,
the bread takes 10 minutes.
For perfect cooking, use 6 quarts of water per pound. Add salt and pasta once the water boils. Okay. Thank you for that.
You need a little container for the salt?
No, I just do it in my hand.
Okay.
We're going to do about that much. And it bubbles up, and y'all aren't even looking at it. Sorry about that. I added salt to the water. I'm sure you've all added salt to pasta water before. All right. I'm not going to cook this whole pound. Because I don't think we need a pound.
I don't think we need a pound of pasta.
No.
You want the scale or anything?
No, I'm just going to do about, maybe a little over half.
Okay.
Let's do about that much, maybe? Maybe a few. An extra hand. You gotta have once to taste. All right, so when you put pasta in, well, we'll put the sticker on it. They gave you the sticker, so.
So use it.
Yeah. So when you put pasta in, you want to stir it around just to make sure it hasn't stuck to the bottom. In this case, this whole second vessel is sort of a colander, so it never actually hits the bottom of the pot. So we've got that boiling. We've got the stuff we'll finish the plates with. You want all the pasta? Well, we're having bread with it, so.
Hello, Doda.
Oh. Thank
How's
you
it
for
going?
coming in.
Yeah, you need your chat bigger.
Yeah, well, y'all see me like staring at it, trying to read it.
We might be able to enlarge it.
Well,
Yeah.
but I want the picture.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for coming in, Panthelina. I'm sorry that we kept you up so late.
Yeah. And thank you for the bon appetit.
But thank you for the bon appetit. We'll be eating in a little bit, and I'll probably rate out then. Bon appetit.
Bone apple teeth.
Yeah. Mercy buckets. Was the joke my mom always made.
Yeah.
I'm late. 7 pounds of chicken breast thinly sliced. Pain in the ass. Yes, it is. I'm
What's
making.
cooking?
So let me go back over to here. I have pasta boiling in this pot, which we'll stir. Did you hit the cable?
No, there's just something on the ground. I'll
Yeah.
get it later.
There's always something. All right. And then here I have tomato meat sauce that I've made to go with it. And this has been cooking. I've been cooking about a couple hours, I think. So I think your oven is hot.
The oven is hot. Yeah, you didn't mention the garlic bread
Yes.
that is going
Yes.
into the oven.
Garlic toast from box also.
It doesn't make it any less valid.
Well, I mean, I do have a little mandolin that I use sometimes. Did you add veggies
a lot
to this?
of veggies.
So here's what went in it: 1 pound of ground beef, 1 pound of pork. In this case, it's Italian sausage. 1 bell pepper diced up. I used a red one because that's the one I like. 1 onion. It was a great big onion. 1 carrot. 1 celery. Well, it wasn't 1 celery. It was a few little pieces. I put in a jar of passata, which is like Italian strained tomatoes. A box of fine chopped tomatoes by Pomi, where the ingredients are just tomato. 1 can of crushed tomatoes, 28 ounces, I think. 1 regular can of tomato paste. About a cup of red wine went into this. Half teaspoon of rosemary, 1 bay leaf, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 parmesan rind. And also I put some basil stems in it for a while, let them cook their flavor out into the sauce, and then took them out. And of course, salt and pepper to taste.
Excuse me.
Put the salt back. And this is, not for just one sitting. We're going to take this and store it in the freezer so we can have it again. Oops. Where the thing is, the boiling.
No,
Here, I'll just put it on top.
Okay.
You have seconds tonight?
Sometimes we have seconds.
Well, I'm not making a whole lot of I'm not making like a whole pound of pasta because that's what we used to do for the 5 of us when our kids were here.
Yeah.
We're sort of empty nesters now. And I guess if you haven't seen it,
For pasta freeze. Well, we usually don't.
there it is.
We'll freeze the sauce and then cook new pasta.
Yeah, we always do the pasta fresh. So that's the sauce.
Yeah.
You can see there are little vegetables in it and meat. Let's see how this pasta. I didn't start a timer. It's not ready yet.
Okay.
I'm bad at starting a timer on stream. Yeah, pasta doesn't hang like if you make too much, it's not great in your it's the GoPro mic going crazy. I had it muted.
Yeah.
Pasta doesn't keep well. You should probably always, kind of like rice, you should always just throw it out and making some new. You could par cook it and then finish the cooking later. But the texture, I think, of pasta is always best if you do it yourself at the time. And usually, if you have something more complicated that you've done in advance, the boiling of the pasta isn't much. Like I said, there are nights of the week that we just don't want to do anything involved. That's way too soon.
Yeah, we had frozen pizza last night. Or I cooked frozen pizza last night. It's about the same energy as I did with the garlic bread.
Sorry, I have to sit down for a minute.
You have been streaming for 2 hours and 14 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Sometimes I just have to. Yeah, and normally when I do this, I'd probably, let it simmer a while and go sit down and.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, make everything that makes sense. Yeah, so you kind of make it ahead of time. So you can do, like, I do not like microwaved, heating up microwave things. But one thing that is pretty easy to microwave is pasta. So yeah, usually putting pasta and, but not from the freezer, usually from the fridge.
If you're gonna do something like that, just make sure it's not mixed into the sauce yet.
Yeah, right.
You need to do it separately.
Separately?
Yeah.
One of the things that I had never used until, let's see, how do I?
Talking.
There we go. One of the things I had never used until I met Neil, he introduced me to one of these things, which you basically put your plate in the microwave under this, and then it basically captures all of the moisture and kind of reheats it as it's kind of going. It is a Neil's Meals. Hey, Book Slap, how's it going?
Yes, it is a Neil's Meals. Sorry, I had to sit down for
Neil had to sit down.
I don't love to put tomato sauce into plastic. One, because it stains the plastic. But two, I've gotten so you're never sure anymore how good something is for you. But I always know glass is.
Yeah, I use the napkin method too. And then Neil introduced me to that, and I was like, "Oh my God, this works so much better."
Well, what I did before that is I'd use a piece of wax paper.
Wax paper, so it doesn't get on the napkin. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm probably one of the last people in America to buy wax paper. That is not ready. I can look at it and tell.
You should take a picture of the sauce while it's in the pan for your picture. You want me to? And you can take a picture of it on pasta too, but
Yeah, well, I'll let them see me taking a picture of it.
yeah.
Got to have that Instagram picture, right? Looks better when you stir it all together. All right. The only thing is the pot's kind of dirty, but it's fine. It's been cooking.
It's cooking.
Oh, let's... No. It does not look great, does it? Maybe I'll give it a flash.
It looks like sauce.
It does look like sauce.
Sauce is happening.
Yeah, the microwave cover does work well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's a good thing to do if you have it. Sometimes I mix the sauce and the pasta together, though, so it's not really great as a...
Might check the pasta.
Yeah.
Because there's only a minute left on this.
How long did that take?
10 minutes. And you started that first.
Just about. There is actually an old recipe for leftover spaghetti. You can make a spaghetti pie. I'd say this is actually about done, so I'm not. Well, here, I'll take it.
Yeah, so the inner part lifts up and it has a colander. You want me to just turn this off? Push it back?
Yeah, well, I'm going to bring it over.
Oh, okay. Empty it?
Yeah. Let me get one of these for a second. Turn that off.
Off.
Now, a lot of times you need to save your pasta water. I'm not going to serve it that way, so I'm just dumping it out. But if you're going to do it in a pan, basically at this point, I'm not prepared to dirty another thing. So this will just be, you know, trying to get all the water out of it. The lid on it. Hold it for a second. Let's put this over here. I pulled the paper towels and the whole roll rolled out. It was like I got, it was like a joke. All right. So let's get some plates. And let's get some pasta. We've got some pasta.
Do with the pot holder.
Um,
Don't worry about it.
Where did I do with the pot?
Okay.
Here. So I've got these 2 plates, and I'm just gonna kind of do my pasta out on them.
By the way, the toast is done. Yum. And it's burning my hand now, so I will set it down.
Fool.
Here, do you want me to move the
You can.
camera over there? So we can actually see what you're doing?
All right, that looks like enough pasta for both of us. Does that look
Yep.
even? Does that look like the same amount on both of them?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. No.
Ooh.
Ow.
Hopefully they were able to put it back on.
Neil did that once, didn't you?
No, it wasn't quite that bad.
Oh, okay.
It was just sort of a deep cut, but it wasn't like part of it was coming off. All right. So we stir the sauce up, get all the good stuff in it, and then I have this silicone scoop kind of thing, and I'll ladle some over it. Hopefully better than that. What about... Should have broken that rosemary up some more. Yeah. That much on. Then I'll do it myself. Or whatever. Oh. Okay. Maybe I should have picked the
There
plate
you
up.
go. Didn't want to tell you what to do.
No, it's fine. Now this, of course, would be better if you did it together in a pan and cooked it out a little bit. But one, this pasta is at done, so that would not be great. Just put this on, and that's not the right lid. That's the right lid. All right. Thing to wipe off the edge. It's cheese that I like. Well, here, I'll do some basil first. Because if you're gonna put basil on, it's best to put it on at the end. That's
Fresh
why.
basil.
That's why I had taken some basil and stuck it in there and then pulled it out. And then we have some cheese. This is just some Parmesan Reggiano. If you wanted, you could use Pecorino Romano. And that would be less expensive, but just as tasty. I paid for that cheese. What's going on there?
Take your picture now.
I will.
Hold it up to the camera too.
Here, I'll pull this stuff out of the way.
There we go. Yum.
Oh, it'd be better if I got it on the plate. So that's the plate. Oh, I've got sauce water.
Uh-oh, it's okay.
I've got sauce water. Sorry. But that is pasta. Here, let me take a picture of one.
Yeah, I was gonna say before the cheese melts.
I'll put the like the bottle on the edge.
All right.
Yep, that came out good.
It doesn't
right.
look like Chinese food at a Chinese food restaurant?
No, it doesn't. All right, so we're gonna go eat now. Let me put it on talking.
Yeah, thanks everyone for being here.
Thank you so much for coming, and
We're hungry.
I hope that I was able to show you something you wanted to see. I stream generally on the Saturday time and on Tuesdays. I don't have a raid message, so I need to. Let's see if there's a food and drink streamer. No, yeah, I want this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little dead.
I think I see some sauce on the laptop right there.
There's something there, yeah.
No, it wasn't sauce. It was crumb.
All right. It was great to meet you too.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Let's see who we find. Eat it up, garlic bread. Do I know any of these people? Oh, she's got 10 people, so I guess we'll go to her. See if she's done. No, she's still making something, so. All right, we're going to raid Abbey Cafe in the food and drink community. I don't know her, but I thought I would give it a good shot.
Go back to chat.
Oh, yeah. Chat here.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks everyone.
So, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for all who subscribed and rated me. I really do appreciate it. Y'all have done so much for me, and I'm glad that I can do this for you. Maybe teach you something, maybe inspire you to cook in your kitchen, maybe inspire you to stream cooking. I don't know. It totally depends on you and what you're comfortable with. I do not have follows turned on, so I do see that you follow, but I don't let it announce it to the system, just to keep you comfortable. If you want to lurk, go ahead and lurk. We're going to raid into Abbey Cafe. I don't really know Abbey Cafe, but we'll see how she is. Y'all have a good night.
Bye everyone.
Eat something good. See y'all later, and I love you.